Welcome back. The growing crisis at the southern border. House lawmakers set to debate two bills on immigration reform next week, as new data finds there were more than 100,000 migrant encounters at the southern border last month. 3,000 of those included children under the age of 12. The Biden administration still refusing to call this situation a crisis.
It doesn't matter what you call it. It is an enormous challenge. It is something that is front and center for the president. He had a briefing yesterday on the trip to the border, and there are a number of, while there are no final policy decisions, there are a variety of actions under consideration. Our focus here is on getting to the root of the issues and taking actions, and we don't feel the need to, play games with what it's called.
Joining me right now is former acting director of U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, Ron Vitiello. Ron, it's good to have you this morning. Your reaction to what you heard?
Well, if they don't call it a crisis, then why did they send the Emergency Management Association from the department? Why is FEMA going down to the border to help CBP with the thousands and thousands of people that are coming across the border every night? Over 3,000 children in custody at HHS. If this isn't a crisis, then it wasn't a crisis in 2018 when we were overwhelmed, when I was still in government. We had 9,000 people in custody. It wasn't a crisis in 2014 when Jay Johnson and Barack Obama called it a humanitarian crisis. What's happening now is worse than both of those two periods. And I don't see an end in sight. I'm clear on the idea that they were going to change these policies, but not having the shelter space available, not having adequate facilities augmented at the border is it's ridiculous. They blew up the border basically. We had a fix for these kinds of surges that we started in 2018 through 2019, and they took all of the tools that made that work off the table.
Yeah, but why? Well, I mean, what is behind? I understand she doesn't want to call it a crisis because that would mean that they created the crisis, given the fact that they overturned President Trump's policies in this regard. But why would they be making these changes? What's the point of this? To make the country less safe?
It's hard for me to understand because the people who were advising this president knew exactly what would happen when they removed these tools out of the tool set. Having an agreement with Mexico, a historic agreement with Mexico, for them to patrol and control their own southern border, help us on the northern border, and allow migrants who wanted to make an asylum claim to remain in Mexico throughout the duration of that hearing. That's historic, unprecedented support from Mexico. I spent 33 years in the Border Patrol, many hours, many days, working with colleagues in Mexico for them to do more as it relates to this pipeline. And we had that cooperation with them, and now it's gone.
Yeah. So what would you recommend the immigration officials and the administration to do to stop this crisis? What is needed now?
Well, what worked before was this remain in Mexico policy, the migrant protection protocols, and the asylum accords with the Northern Triangle, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador. Allow people to make claims for asylum, but let them wait in Mexico. And what that did is that effectively told the planet or the region, don't get in the pipeline because they're not going to let you in at the border. So you have to put a condition in place. In 2014, when we stopped the surge, we added family detention centers, and that abated the flow at the border. The same thing happened in 2006. We figured out how to use the detention we had, added detention capacity, so that people could come and make those claims, but they stayed in custody until those claims were fully realized. Now people are being allowed to come in the United States.
I brought that up. Yeah, I brought that up in our last interview, and was given pushback on it. Let me get Brian Brenberg in here. Go ahead, Brian.
Ron, you mentioned, the two big policies under the Trump administration that worked: remain in Mexico and the safe third country. The Biden administration obviously rolled both of those back, and they have zero interest in returning to it. That was the proven solution for this moment. If you don't go back to either one of those, can you do anything, or is this just an inevitable pull of more migrants to the border?
It appears to be inevitable. It looks like they're not going to change or go back to these two policies. You could set up a scenario where there's a sufficient shelter space or a sufficient detention. Like if you want to let these people come in and put them in detention, that would deter many more from coming. But obviously, they're not of a mind to do that because they made a statement on the 21st about how they're going to restrict immigration enforcement. So we're going soft at the border, and we're going soft on immigration enforcement in the country. And so we've sent a signal to the world that if you bring your kid or send your child to the border, then we're going to let you in.
Yep, for sure. And they're coming as a result. Ron, it's good to have your insights this morning and your experience. Thanks very much, Ron Vitiello, joining us there on the border issues.